Hi everyone, my name is Kartik and my channel is about mental models. In this video I'm going to be talking about critical mass. I mentioned critical mass towards the end of the activation energy video as a mental model that can be used to help reduce the activation energy. Now, critical mass is not simply just scientific jargon. The mental model angle is that it is a guide for understanding that often things happen slowly and then all at once. Let's take YouTube channels as an example. Here's the play button. Generally, in the beginning, there aren't many views. There aren't many subscribers, and you're not well known or widely known. And there are exceptions, but I'm generalizing here. But there comes a point when videos on a channel start to experience a higher number of views without much effort. And in reality, that could be due to many things, but one of those things can be defined by critical mass. Like in a nuclear chain reaction, once there is critical mass, the reaction becomes self-sustaining and more energy is not required to be added into the reaction. You just simply need to keep the thing switched on and not try and close it down. And so going back to my YouTube channel example, the critical mass is about having enough content and subscribers. Once you have this, then the number of views on your channel per video will grow without the effort that you would have put into the channel in the early or earlier stages of channel development. Let me take another example of political activism or political movements. We'll just call it activism. This is a useful example because it's quite easy to visualize. Let's say if you are a lone voice or a very small group of people fighting for something in order to achieve the outcome you want. Well, you will need to bring more people together in order to have a stronger voice. In isolation, you'll be seen more as a protest voice that can be simply and very easily ignored. But as the number of people who are willing to support you grows, as your followership grows, you become harder and harder to ignore. And as you get more support, as your support grows, your influence will grow. And if you have enough people behind you, which in this case symbolizes a critical mass of people, then you can make change happen. You can get people in power to listen to you. And if they still don't listen to you, if you have enough people behind you, you can go into power. So what's the learnings behind all of this? Well, the first learning behind this is that we can use this concept of critical mass to work out how much or how many of what it is we need to achieve a critical mass. So in my example here, we need to work out how many people we need to influence in order to bring about change. In other examples, it might be how much time, how much effort, how much raw material. It depends on the situation. On this example, because it's easy to visualize, it's the number of people. And when enough of it, so how much, how many, going back onto this side of the board, when enough of it builds up, then the system gets to a point of critical mass, after which, if we keep going and don't stop, we will get sustainable change. Another name for critical mass, or this point, is tipping point. The second learning, use a different colour. The second learning is that you can use this mental model to great effect in identifying the elements and the amount of work you need to put in where you want different outcomes. So I'm going to call this different outcomes. So you can discriminate, as it were, between different things. So by that I mean you'll be faced with different situations, and from each of these different situations you will want a different outcome. You won't want the same thing in every case. And this mental model can be used as a technique to identify the elements and effort, and then judging by those elements and effort you can prioritize, and you can get different outcomes, and you can get more favorable outcomes. And so that's what I mean by different outcomes. And finally, number 3, different colour. In social systems, I'm going to call this is the third learning. In social systems, there can be ways to reach critical mass much quicker than growing organically. So going back to this example as a good example, instead of trying to go after the next individual in this group of people, we can get a bigger following, a bigger cohort, by doing a few things, and we can get to our critical mass quicker. The first thing is involving people who have large social networks. Number 2, involving people who are trusted specialists in the area you are trying to influence. And number 3, involving people who are trained in influence and communication. So all of these three things, which fit nicely in this activism example, all of these 3 things are social systems examples. So these are the learnings from this mental model. And so this is the key to the critical mass or the tipping point mental model. And this is what this mental model is all about. And that's all for this video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, then check out my earlier videos on activation, energy and catalysts flashing on screen now. I'm sure you will like them too. And I will see you in the next video with another mental model. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.